Alright, today we're here to actually do a product review on the Crow's Nest. It's a complete concealment. Let me actually show you what the product is initially. Essentially what it is a chain with some bars through it that we wrap around the tree and stick branches in. And the branches themselves get stuck in to provide concealment around you. Now, when I looked at the product initially, I was excited about it for a couple reasons. The Crow's Nest itself, we've all been in those situations where we have to sit fairly low in the tree. We're in a swamp, we're in a lone tree, we're in a fence row, or we're just in a tree that just doesn't provide any cover at all. Prior to this, my option was to hunt out of a tree saddle or to soar very high into the tree. Now today with the Crow's Nest, what it allows me to do, it allows me to sit at the appropriate height and cover myself up. And so instead of putting carpet or anything around you, it actually takes branches and you use the concealment around you in the forest to put the branches around you. Let's actually take a look at the product. What it consists of is a strap and then the concealment system. And as we put the concealment on, I have one hooked up already right here. And this is a perfect tree to use it on. It's a straight tree and there's no cover. So to put it on that system, you hook up the bracket on one end, you wrap it around the tree, and then you connect the buttons. Let's just take 1 second. And once it's strapped, you go ahead and tighten it up. And that's the concealment system. That's the start of it. Now from this point, we go ahead and put branches in, and it'll take me a few minutes to run branches around it, but I'll go ahead and put branches around it and then I'll get into it. As you can see, I'm not in camouflage, but it provides a pretty good cover for you. As you can see here, we went ahead and set up the brush around it for the majority. I'm going to go ahead and get into it so you can check it out. So this is the Crow's Nest, and as you can see, I'm completely covered below me. I have tons of brush around me, but then kind of as I stand up, I kind of pop out of the brush. Now I could have picked longer branches. I didn't, just for the demonstration purpose, but as you can see, you can completely see me now. I can fire shots off in different ways. I got to clear off some of the brush that's really close to me. What I found is unique about the Crow's Nest here is you go ahead and put your brush around, and what I found most helpful is to kind of brush one side. And you can't see in this picture from your viewpoint, but behind me and on the other side here, I've left some of the branches out, and I've done that because I expect the shots to be coming from this side, and I'd probably pop open a couple of holes on this side too, especially to be able to shoot in here and right down in here. You know, there's a lot of brush here, and when I talked to the inventor about the program, he actually looked at it and realized that even as these leaves, you know, they're green right now and it's the middle of summer, but as they start to die, if you cut them early before the fall, what'll happen is they'll turn brown, they'll stay on the branches, and it'll provide you concealment well into the November time frame, which is when you need it most. This tree right here is a straight up and down tree. There's not much cover on it. This is a perfect situation. We were doing it as a demonstration, so I was pretty close to the ground. But it's a perfect time to use this is when you're in the swamps or in fence rows and places where, you know, my ideal situation is to say, what is the best location to hunt? And then I need to find a tree that fits that purpose. And sometimes I'm sitting in super small trees, sometimes it's a lone tree with no brush around it. When I'm in the woods or in a brushy tree, and that situation provides itself great, in a lot of cases that's not the situation. I'm always having to sacrifice something. With this system, I don't have to sacrifice brush anymore. Last year I know I hunted and I had to hunt only about 10 feet off the ground in multiple different tree stands. The crow's nest would have really provided me help. Now in addition they provide an A and a B crow's nest. The B is on the bottom, the A is on the top. What the A is they're angled so the brush will go around you, so when a deer looks up there's brush around you. I think I like the bottom. I don't know how much I would use the top because I'm not only trying to conceal myself from deer, but I'm also trying to make sure that everything looks natural in the woods. I hunt a ton of state land, and the last thing I want is to put up something that, you know, every hunter in a square mile will be able to see it. So that's one thing about it. So I'm going to go ahead and take some pictures, and we'll scan around on the other side so you can see the side that I left open and how that conceals me also. Then I'm also going to take some pictures from below. Okay, cool. As you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and push these branches out. But this is the concealment unit from right below. So this would be if a whitetail's really close, obviously you can see you have all this brush screen around you that the deer, if it looked up, it wouldn't see you. Obviously in this point of view with this amount of brush, you're not going to be able to make this shot. You're going to have to get the shot at 5 yards out on this side. So as you can see on this side, this is the side that I actually left open. Now initially with the crow's nest, I know the idea is to provide complete concealment all the way around you. I don't like that much brush around me. I like to be able to move and move around the tree, so I went ahead and left one side. In addition, I'm sitting in a tree stand right now, but oftentimes I hunt out of a tree saddle. And when I hunt out of a tree saddle, I'd be hanging very close to the tree and facing the tree. Again, the concealment to put it around you in that point is also a very good idea and can be used with that system. Now, with any product, there's also a few things that I didn't like about the product. So a couple things that I had to watch out for was, this is an example, as you saw me putting the branches in, this is a branch that was just a little bit too big. So you got to get the right size branches. I notice oak branches tend to be a little bit big if you go with birch, or this is just some brush that I cut off from the ground. It got a little bit big. If I cut this branch maybe up here, it would work out great, but possibly be a little bit too short. So that was one thing. The other thing is the buckle itself. And let me go ahead and pull the buckle out. It actually comes in a package neatly wrapped up. Everything's hooked up right here properly. And as I look at the buckle, it's a nice system. Now, you can hook the buckle on right here. If you need a larger tree, you can hook it back here. But what I noticed is when I went to hook things up, the buckle tended to slip on me a little bit. And it's a looser buckle. It's not meant to be a safety strap, but it tended to be a little bit loose for me, so I really didn't like that. I had to wrap the buckle around and tie it an extra time to get it to hold all the branches. As the weight came in, it tended to pull it down. Once I tied it down, it was fine. Again, I don't know if that was learning the system or not. The other thing that I don't like about buckles oftentimes is I messed around with this buckle for about 5 minutes. And, you know, a buckle system, I like to be able to, a product like this, grab it out of the box, strap it onto the tree. I don't necessarily want to go ahead and go back and look at the instructions. When I went back and looked at the instructions, I finally understood it. The buckle didn't come tied in like this one. And so then I understood how to hook it up. But again, I messed around for 5 minutes. And I, you know, so that's something that I didn't really like about the product. The other one I have on top here is, this is the top portion, and what happens on the top portion here, these tubes, as you can see them here, they're set on an angle. So when you wrap this around above you, the angle actually provides branches to shoot straight out instead of upward. So if you just want concealment below you for a close-in shot, then you could use the A and put it below you, or you could put it above you if you wanted to cover up from a deer being able to look up this way and see me here. If I had the A above me here, it would provide cover there. Again, I think I like the bottom system a lot better. I don't know how often I would use the upper system. All right, so just some final thoughts about the crow's nest complete tree stand concealment is, you know, I think this is a valuable solution. I like the solution because I like to hunt in specific locations that are near good traffic, which always, you know, there's never a great tree. So this will provide me another option. I know last year I had multiple hunting locations where I was either on a fence row or in a swamp. One swamp I hunted, there was only 5 trees that were tall enough to hold me. This would have been great because all the brush stopped at about 10 feet. I had hunt extremely low. This would have been a perfect situation to provide me a little extra cover. Again, fence rows where there's just a couple trees kind of scattered along, if you want to provide yourself some extra cover so you don't get picked off. Little types of movement, whether it's your hand brushing your face or whether you're looking around for deer, it's going to conceal some. I've really been a fan of. So you're using the natural cover that's around you. If you're cutting a tree stand out for bow hunting, you're going to have extra branches. So if you put it up at the same time frame, and the time frame to put it up is now, if you went to put this system up during deer season, I think there's too much human scent that would go into putting these branches up. So it's definitely best to go ahead and put this up early in the season, pretty much right now, or even earlier. So all of that stuff combined, I think this product has its place in time, and it's a good product to look into if you have those types of hunting spots. Thanks a lot.